Now, so that laid the foundation for Black Spirits Legacy. How did that come to play?
Yeah, right. So think about that. When I think about that, I like that. So Duke and Dame have. So all this is again we talking consecutive.
Yeah, because you still got other stuff going on.
Yeah, still got all of that. Still all of that.
Yeah, events. You got your T-shirt business.
Yeah. So Duke and Dame came December 2020.
Now, for our audience, tell what is Duke and Dame.
Duke and Dame is a salted caramel whiskey.
Okay.
A 2-year whiskey, natural caramel.
Right.
It's not syrup. So it's natural caramel. It's like 2% or 1%. One calorie. I think it is 2 calories.
Okay.
This is a great product. We do very, very well in Michigan, Detroit.
Hey everyone, this is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you.
Special episode of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. Yes, pop-up edition. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 117. We are special guests, Lazar Favors. This is a distinguished businessman.
Thank you.
Renaissance man. Well, we don't want to say Renaissance because you went to Cass.
Oh yeah, we want to say Cass. Yeah.
But for our audience, before we go into like a more formal introduction, if somebody was to ask you, who is Lazar Favors, what would you tell them?
Who am I? I am a number of things. Right. I am first a father. I'm a husband. I'm a businessman. Third in my business is people. I am what some would consider a philanthropist. I love people. I work with people. I'm definitely grounded in the neighborhoods, not in the hood, but in the neighborhoods. And I love what I do.
Did you into spirits, or how did you get?
Yes.
And I don't know if we're missing some
No,
stuff.
that's the foundation that led me into spirits was really the music, right?
Okay.
And then film. So we were in the middle. We were in our 11th year of our film, Detroit Trinity International Film Festival. In the 11th year.
Okay. You were part of starting that, or you joined?
My wife started the festival.
Okay.
And she was gonna end it at 10 years. She was like, 2016, 10, we done. I'm like, nah, we ain't done that yet. She was like, what about the funding? And I'm like, I take care of that part, right? Yeah, so the festival leads us into the spirits. I'll tell you how that is, right? So there's the biggest whiskey company in the world, Black owned, right? I'm not giving it no play today. I just don't feel like giving it a play.
All
right? But my brother, again, Rudy has always, one of my brothers has always been the beginning of my action, right? They'll tell me something or introduce something to me and ask me what I think about it, and then I'll go into action with it. Right? So Rudy he's like, yo, you ever heard of this whiskey? And somebody he knew that's in that we used to know from the music business was promoting it. He had saw him on one of the big radio shows, and he was telling me about it. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm not into that. I wasn't into
spirits
at all. Zero.
At this point, you're doing film production.
Film and t-shirts. I have a t-shirt company for the last 28 years.
Right. Okay.
And but he knew if he tell me, I'm gonna research it at some point.
Right.
It's just how I'm wired. Like, well, let me see what they're talking about.
Right.
Come to find out, it's Black owned, woman owned. The story itself was a phenomenal story. I had never heard of it. I hadn't even thought about it existing in that space. But what I do know is that Black people exist everywhere and created everything in every space, right? Because it wasn't on my radar, it was something I wasn't thinking about. When he put it on my radar, I discovered the story, I enjoyed the story. And he had mentioned within telling me about it, like, yo, you should call them about, see if they're going to sponsor, so they can become a sponsor for the film festival. He's always thinking, he's always on top of that. So one day I said, let me call this number. Because in my research, I found the phone number, email address, contact person. I'm going to get him. I called and I said, so the SVP answers the phone, name Captain. I said, wouldn't it be great to introduce Uncle Nearest Premium Whiskey at the 16th, or was it? 10, no, it was 2017. So we probably in our 11th annual ... And she said, yes. I said, okay. I was just pitching.
Right.
Expecting to say yeah. Like, okay.
An idea.
I said, so I flipped it. I said, so tell me about the product. As opposed to her saying, so tell me about the festival. She tells me about the product. Have you heard our story? I said, I heard this, that. So I get to breathe and then tell her about the festival. My wife started, happens here in Detroit. And she was like, we're not officially in Detroit, in Michigan yet. We're waiting on some things from the distributor. We got all that situated.
How did you set up the meeting? Just a cold call?
It's cold call.
Wow,
that's cold call.
That's fearless.
Man, it's just a cold call. A lot of things just cold call.
Yeah,
everything I did with
because
everything with the music.
Now it's all a process. You got to talk to this person as a gatekeeper.
Absolutely.
To get a sponsor. You know, are you calling the right people?
Yeah.
But
it's cold call timing.
Right.
I sense it. Right. So once I sense, I just activate it. Because time is the time. That's what it's going to be. Right.
And it was the premier sponsor. They agreed. Yeah.
They agreed. They sent us some products, some stuff. We did some great things with it. At first time I had ever been in the state of Michigan. They sponsored all of our events from July through November. So we did comedy shows, some other shows, some things. We produced a lot of stuff, and they were our lead product. Right, so it was all product, but we were building a name for them with us organically and just unconsciously. It's like, it's like bringing my brother into the room. Like, okay, y'all rolling with us. We going everything we do, you do. So they called me right before Thanksgiving. It was like, how can we strengthen the relationship? I'm like, come see me. Again, I'm not even thinking about working with them. Like, I'm fine with
finding a sponsor for you.
I'm fine.
Film festival with your wife.
But so they're thinking something different. So they come see me. The funniest thing happened, they asked me for a resume. I'm like, what?
Like a one sheet?
Oh, I'm like, I ain't had a resume in almost 20 years.
Right.
What? Do what?
Right.
I found it funny. I'm like, I don't have one. I said, I could probably Google me, I guess.
Right.
I can do that. And I've seen some stuff, I'm, American Black Journal. We got a ton of stuff I can sing you. So the guy came to see me. One of the Midwest
regional sales person.
Came to see me. We talked. He told me about the product. I'm like, cool. And he was like, it's kind of like sales. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And he's like, I said, so what's y'all sales pitch? Like, how do y'all sell it? Mm-hmm. And he says, well, we say, this is the, so he used the word slave. I said, yeah, that ain't gonna work here. Because his pitch is, the original pitch was, this is the gentleman who taught, this is the slave who taught how to distill whiskey. I said, yeah, that's not gonna work here. No. I said, here's what I need y'all to understand. When you go into a space where it's predominantly black and you use that word, you just call somebody a nigga. Right? And
it's triggering.
Right? Because then you go somewhere where it's mostly Caucasian, same trigger. I ain't buying that. Right? I said, what is he first? And he was like, master distiller? What is he before that? It's like, you got me. I'm like, he's a gentleman. So watch this. It's a universal language. This is the gentleman who taught how to distill whiskey. Universal. I said, everybody's at ease. Yeah. And he was like, all right. Took notes, and they started using it. Because that's what made sense to me. And then you're a white guy delivering this message like that. It's going to be uncomfortable for you. Right? You know what I mean? So we got past that. That following May, I started working with them. And we helped build their brand out in Michigan, 5,000 locations plus.
Now, did they when you were supposed to be a direct hire, or you was like consultant?
Oh no,
or
I don't.
Had like
I
a
didn't.
distribution deal. What was it?
Yeah, it was a independent contract.
Independent.
I haven't had a W-2 since.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not doing that. And it was funny because it was like, well, this is.
And you used one of your previous businesses or established business
Mm-hmm.
where they as a contractor working to help them brand.
And they were it was great. It was a great relationship. It was a great partnership. They actually introduced me to Duke and Dane, Amani, based on the work that I put in, the part that I helped build for that product here in the state of Michigan. So Duke and Dane wanted to come to Michigan, be distributed here. And I just, those are great friends of mine now. We came in. My relationship with them is more brotherly. Right. It's two gentlemen. These are some incredible two brothers out of Miami. And I love the name, Duke and Dane. Like, I love that.
Right.
Number one, the bottle is nice.
Right.
It's a salted caramel whiskey. I'm like, yo, your boy's on to something.
Right.
I like it. And I like their characteristics. So I think we work well together because we understand, and they're a little younger than I am, and we got an understanding of what it takes, and they let me be me.
Right.
You can't bring me a script like that ain't gonna work for me.
Right.
Because I don't work for you, I work with you. It's a difference.
Right.
So let me do what I do with the relationships that I have, and it's gonna yield the same results or even better.
Now, so that laid the foundation for Black Spirits Legacy. How did that come to play?
Yeah, right. So think about that. When I think about that, I like that. So Duke and Dame have. So all this is, again, we talk consecutive.
Yeah, because you still got other stuff going on.
Yeah, still got all of that. Still all of that.
Yeah, events. You got your T-shirt business.
Yeah. So Duke and Dame came December 2020.
Now, for our audience, tell what is Duke and Dame?
Duke and Dame is a salted caramel whiskey.
Whiskey.
A 2-year whiskey, natural caramel.
Right.
It's not syrup. So it's natural caramel. It's like 2% or 1%. One calorie, I think it is 2 calories.
Okay.
This is a great product. We do very, very well in Michigan, Detroit. They love it. Again, it's one of my premier.
And you worked as an independent promoter.
Yeah, still do. Yeah, they're one of my premier products, and I enjoy that relationship with them. But there's so we built that out. So Taste the Black Spirits, right? Came in for Black Spirits Legacy first, right? What is that? I always say this. I love saying it. It's a legacy of Black Spirits. We launched that in my partner Sadat and several other.
Now, at first it was Taste of Black Spirits.
No, it was Black Spirits Legacy first.
Oh, Black Spirits Legacy.
Yeah, which is the
company. The company.
We produced Taste of Black Spirits.
Okay.
And we first produced Taste of Black Spirits.
Now, is that Taste of Black Spirits more of an event?
Yes.
And then
Black Spirits Legacy
is more the company that does
produce these events, promotions, marketing, consultants.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So Taste of Black Spirits, we launched that for several reasons. When I was doing that 2020 between 2007, 18, because when I started with the company it was 2018, 19. Those years I'm looking and I'm studying because now I'm in it. Right now, I'm in the field, I'm in the work, I'm in the business, I'm getting the understanding of what the spirit business is. I'm getting the understanding of what some brands may go through, because let's be clear, let's get an understanding that this is still gangster business. The liquor business has always been the liquor business, and it's still briefcases and envelope being handed out, right? I'll let you figure that part out, what I'm saying, right?
I got you.
So, Duke and Dame came to the picture 2020. After that, so May 2021, I've done so much research. I'm looking like it's got to be more Black-owned brands. Right? So I come across, as I'm searching, Googling for it, I come across a website, and it says, "Will Drink for Travel." I just click on it. And this young lady had built this list of about 60, maybe 40 something brands at the time. Name, brand, website, owner, email address. Let's see. I copy and paste all of them. I craft the language in the email freestyle, like, because I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I said, I want to invite y'all to the tasting of Black Spirits. Mm-hmm. That's initially what I called it. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen this day. You can sign up here, etc., etc., etc. I get a call back. The first call I get back was this guy right here, Island John, Kevin John.
And that's a black-owned.
Black-owned. All this
black-owned.
So Kevin John, we on the phone for about 2 hours, like really getting to know each other and really sharing information. He was like, yeah, I'll come down. So we sent some product to the first person. Then it was Red Hazel, Den of Thieves, because I like that, Den of Thieves, Tea Capri. So these are the first folks who don't know me, right? It's like, yeah, we ride with you. Because I didn't know at the time that had never happened here, ever. I had no idea. I'm not thinking about that.
Right.
I'm just thinking about doing it. So we end up getting, and then there's a store that I found that could ship here that had black-owned brands called Happy Cork in Brooklyn. Okay. So I find her. So I find these owners. Mm-hmm. Then through the process, I find out. So through that list I got from We'll Drink for Travel, I find Island John, Red Haze, I got those. I end up talking to, and Tom Bullock, which is Alan Henderson, who used to play for the Atlanta Hawks a while back. So he has 4 products. Tom Bullock and Bertie Brown. There's 2 impressions of each. So I got him live, Jason, Den of Thieves, Kevin, etc. So those hot 5 in person. I researched the store. The store carries these other brands. Right. I had been trying to buy them for the longest, right? But nobody would ship to Michigan. So I find Happy Cork. Happy Cork is shipped to Michigan. Right. I said, oh, let me get this, and this. Now, a year later, she told me, she's like, you were spending so much money, I didn't know if it was real. She said, we had just launched our online store. And she said this in the on one of our panels last year in Brooklyn. She's like, but because I had done, so we started that May, very successful. It was 2 days. We had 30-something products, black-owned products, different products, 30-something products. It was phenomenal. I learned so much about product and the need that the brands needed, what they needed, the whole thing. So again, now my mind is clicking into A&R mode. Right. It's still the same.
Still the same thing.
It still requires the same thought.
And it's interesting because it started when you was 13. Well, when you was in high school. Yeah. You built your own personal brand. Yeah. And you stood out, and you carried that legacy of developing other people's personal brand building. Yeah. So it was an easy transition.
It was, and I don't think about that until I think about it like, oh, that's right.
Yeah, you helped to build.
That's correct. Right.
It's not easy. It's
no,
not easy.
No.
You gotta know how to.
No.
How to be strategic and have the right partner.
You gotta have the willpower. You gotta have the will.
Yeah.
You have to have the will to do it. So we put that together. It happened. Yeah. It was phenomenal. 2 days. The first Taste of Black Spirits was 2 days.
And that was started in Brooklyn.
No, that started in Detroit.
Oh, Detroit.
We Detroit all day.
The lady's store was in Brooklyn.
Happy Cork is in Brooklyn.
Okay. Yeah. She came out.
And she shipped.
She shipped.
She was able to ship. Her store was able to legally ship product here.
Oh.
Right. Okay. And what I learned, what I learned also is that stores and companies that can ship here, because this is a controlled state, and we don't need to discuss what that is. It's just control is the key word. Right. That if you can ship here, you only can ship a certain amount of product, tons of product, right? Certain amount of liquid weight. Right. I took all her weight, so she can't even ship here for another 2 years. Yeah. Because I took it all into 1 year.
Oh, you took all the weight for that year.
I took her limit. I took all her limits.
So she had to wait another year.
2 years.
2 years.
Because I took her weight. I started May 2021. We did Taste of Black Spirits July, September, and November we did up in Grand Rapids. So we moved from the place we were at into the Garden Theater, which is black owned also.
The Garden Theater is black owned?
Oh, yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Same folks on the block and Floods.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was black owned.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, they low key about it.
Yes. And this has been since the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, now we are in, we developed some partnerships, some great relationships. Mm-hmm. We got some product distribution deals here. Mm-hmm. I built a partnership with a company called Pronghorn, who funds African American spirit brands.
Now help our audience, because I know people are gonna watch this and they may be like me, like, man, how do you get into the spirit business? It seems like it's controlled by certain families. Do you have to have the product produced certain lands where you grow the different plants? And I mean, it seems like it's a complicated industry to get in. Or am I wrong? Or
it's like, I think it's like everything else. You find the need, the services. You find those folks who manufacture, distribute. You need all those things, right? You think about, and most of us didn't know this, that there's a woman named Vanessa Braxton who's been doing this work since 2012, right? She is the first African American woman master distiller, period.
And what does that mean, master distiller?
It's a person who creates liquid. Literally, she's a scientist. So she's the one who's in there mash building the wheat, the corn, whatever it takes to build the whiskey or the vodka or the gin or whatever she's making. She's that scientist. She has a distillery.
How do you become a master distiller? Is it an apprenticeship?
Listen, it is actually. It's called Step Up. She has been doing that. I mean, like I say, she is one of the first. She is the first woman, but one of many that we don't know nothing about. We're talking 2012. We're talking about Jackie Summers, who is the first African American to hold a legal liquor license and distribute. Manufacturing license to sell liquor in the United States.
Right.
He's alive. Yeah. That's 2011. Sound like a long time, but it's right now.
It's not too bad.
Then you have Guy Russell, who has a distillery out in Pennsylvania. You have Elisa and her family, who has a distillery in New England, Sweetwater. You have Loft and Bear out in California. You have Fort Mose being built, my guy Victor, in Florida. So we are here.
So these are owners that have their own distillery, push their own product.
Yeah.
Help clarify, because a lot of people, and I just include myself, to be honest, we see people promoting spirits as though they have a stake or equity position, but they may be paid to market. In particular, a lot of rap artists. So I'll give you an example. Because he's visible. So is it Belvedere?
Yes. So their products.
And I think Rick Ross is one of the
You're right. You on it.
And I think, but the owner is visible. This guy, he has long hair and all that stuff.
Sovereign brand is what it's called. His brand is called Sovereign.
Yeah, he has other things.
He has bamboo.
But I think people on the streets get the impression that there's this connection, that we got some ownership in it. I don't think that, and maybe you can help clarify. I don't know if that's all true.
I'll say this. There are some great artists out here who are being paid a handsome amount of money to promote. To be actually, promote is a small word because they get paid handsomely.
Right.
I want to say they are, and they're not a ambassador because that's a small word. They get paid pretty much 51% of marketing ad, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever that number that comes in based on sales, like because of you, I sold 10 million cases of this. Right. So you get 50%, 51% of that. Right. Right. Do you get ownership? Absolutely not. Right. Are you able to invest? Absolutely not. It's a family business. Why would I allow you to invest in my family business?
I think the impression
is that,
and even with I know he's in the news for other stuff, but when Ciroc and the Ciroc Boys came out, I thought the impression on the street, like, oh, this is his stuff. This was his. And then you later find out, wait a minute, he don't own that tequila. It's a whole. He's just a promoter.
He's just.
And it was. And I think allegedly he got more flavor or something.
It's one of those.
Like, it was like.
It's one of those things where you be careful what you ask for, right? You have some rappers who've been in business with certain products for a long time. Hennessy, for instance, they have a partnership, extended partnership for a long time, which is good for whoever it's good for.
Right.
Now, will you ever be able to take what you make from that business and then invest in it? Absolutely not. They're not having it. Hennessy been around 500 years. Why would I allow you to do that? It's 500 years, generation. Right. Why would I let you in? No.
But we give them the street credibility, and they make most of the money off.
Most of the time, they don't even want that. It's usually a fluke. We make it famous.
We give it the street cred.
We give it the street cred.
Yeah, they wasn't even attended. They're like,
we're not even the attendant audience.
The cognac, yeah.
We're not that. We wasn't their audience. Oh wait, what? These black people got a hold of my shit.
So you're saying Martell and Hennessy and all these things we made popular in the streets, in our neighborhoods,
in our songs,
the people in the songs. Mm-hmm. They didn't even make it for us. They just like, oh well. No, I mean, they're not like
they're not gonna turn it down.
They're not turning it down.
They're not gonna come see you either. You never see them coming.
Now, were they ever sponsored black-owned events, or I mean, they may have. I'm not sure.
All the time. Okay. Because that's where the money at.
But they're known as far as ownership or equity position, or anything like that.
No, you'll never be in the position to, unless you're family. If you don't have my lineage, if you're not part of who I am, my DNA, then the answer is always no.
Now, on the flip side, with the black brands, is there a reason why they may not get that artist relationship? Is it the money?
It's not.
Or maybe the knowledge, or maybe people just don't. Like, I'm like learning as I'm sitting here.
Most people don't know that it's it's about 475 black-owned brands.
I didn't.
Most people don't know
that.
that.
My audience didn't know that.
I freestyled the other day and just started writing down all the vodka brands I know. I got 87 brands. I got 87 brands.
The tequilas and
all those things
Patron and all that stuff. But
we fail to realize.
I'm fascinated with this whole. I did 470. I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Black-owned brands.
Black-owned brands. I mean, from wine, beer. We got breweries.
Breweries, beer.
Yes.
For real?
Yes. We got wineries. Literally own wineries and breweries. There's a brother of mine, John. He actually just bought a building in Ohio. He's from New Orleans. Mm-hmm. His beer is called Cajun Fire. First of all, I love that. Mm-hmm. Cajun Fire. He has like 4 different impressions, and it's great. The product is great. The packaging is wonderful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the reason for Black Spirits and Taste of Black Spirits is to make sure that we are aware that we exist.
Yeah. That's
the number one reason. It's like, we have quality product to offer. Mm-hmm. We exist in this space, and we are also trying to build a life for our families with this thing. Most of the brands that I come across, the product owners, this is real. Like, this ain't for the cameras. Mm-hmm. It's serious. People like Vanessa. Vanessa is a true genius. Liquid. Like, her life is liquid. She produces products for a lot of companies. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of, she does a lot of work for a lot of people. She even produced a product for Vitalizer. She produces brandy, right?
Is that one of the?
Yeah, this is it here. That's my guy.
What's his name? Shannon Sharp. Is that?
Yeah, that's
partnership.
That's his joint. That's his cognac. Yeah.
Did he partner with any people you knew to help produce?
No. But he wouldn't know. You have to understand, the crowds you in crowds you.
But that's his product.
Yeah.
He's not like that. He's not a promoter.
Nah.
That's his cognac.
Yeah. See, and I like to say that again. The crowds you are in crowd you. Because sometimes your crowd don't want you to look outside.
Right.
Depending on the crowd. If you're crowded by folks who don't look like you, they're going to keep you inside the crowd so you don't see out.
Right.
You won't be able to see Vanessa. You won't be able to see Russell. You can't see Elisa. because I got you in this car. We won't even let you know that they exist because you're not looking for them, because you don't know.
Don't know.
It's not your
So
fault.
now I'm looking for him.
You don't, because if I tell you about him, now you're going to be looking for him.
Yeah,
wait, he's looking for him now. Oh, I got to get him back. Too late. Can't get him back. Once you know, you know. Now you're making a conscious decision. Right?
How do, explain to our audience, how the brands that you have and the banners behind you, how do people get access to these spirits? I mean,
so we launched. So before we even launched, we did I guess we say we launched a template again right here in 4207,
right.
Rivertown Meyer. Even before then, we were at Park Place, and we had a black-owned liquor store called Liquor Basket on Gratiot.
Okay.
So we basically use those as beacons.
Okay.
Those stores specifically, I will talk about those specific 3 stores. Liquor Basket is black-owned.
Still here.
Still here.
Okay.
Rivertown Market is a spinoff of a Meyer store.
Right.
The management and the over at that store, the director over at that store is a brother. He's going off to being an entrepreneur now, but his name is Marcus. So Marcus brought us in, right, for a trial, just to build data,
right,
build awareness in this store. And
is it marketed as black-owned spirits? Or?
Yeah, black-owned spirits, right?
You know, it's funny. I think I was in a Meyer out in Southfield, and they had a little section. If I'm not mistaken, it's the black-owned spirits. I thought I may have seen. I don't know if it has something to do with you, but I don't know
if anything, black spirits gonna have something to do with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a fact.
All right. I thought I saw a display to kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a fluke or Juneteenth fluke. I don't know what it was.
It's probably Juneteenth, but we have building what we did with the Rivertown Meyer store. We were able to bring in about 14 to 15 brands, including Loyalty Wine by J. Prince, and this right here, our the next king, next vodka king, right, Island John Vodka. So we did this. We've been doing this with them for 2 years. Right. We built a lot of data, and so simultaneously working with them, we've been working on an initiative with the corporate stores, our bigger stores, with Meyer. We finally closed the deal last November, which means we brought in 10 African American owned spirit brands at the same time. Not one at a time, all at the same time will exist on a very visible, what they call end caps in the store, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and the initiative is in good spirits. So what does that mean, right?
Oh, okay.
If you're in good spirits, we can't be in nothing else, right? And we brought in Loyalty Wines by J. Prince, obviously Duke and Dane, Island John, we got Frisky Whiskey. We got 2 brands from Michigan. What's her brand called? Philidor. This beautiful bottle like a chess piece. What's that? Oh, my guy Victor, who owns Fort Mose. Now, Fort Mose, I want to share this little story. So, Fort Mose is the first free city in Florida, 1738. A small city all by itself. And what Victor is doing there is, it's a wonderful thing. He's literally building his distillery in Fort Mose. Right? These are the things that we don't hear about enough.
Right.
But I'm here to share it all day, forever, right? So he's on the shelf. My guy Bertie Brown from Allen Henry, that's a beautiful bottle. We got Tom Bullock's Burnt Orange. So we had a ton of products coming in, and it's been interesting that people say, "Well, how did you do that?"
Yeah.
I decided to remove the people in the middle. Right? These are the gatekeepers you mentioned earlier. Yeah. The people who are just there to get their check. There's nothing wrong with these people. It's just they can't. If you can't make a decision, I don't need to talk to you. I was fortunate enough to be able to talk to the person who makes the decision and then hands out the information. So I only talk to one person. Right? I don't need to talk to nobody in between me. There's nobody in between me and the person who makes the decision, who tells his whole staff, "This is what y'all do" when that person comes. That is a position I made sure that I was going to be unconsciously. It's just presenting myself in a manner where if you ain't about to make no decisions, I don't want nothing. I ain't got nothing to say to you. And that's no disrespect. She said we can't have a conversation because the conversation I need to have is what they say above your pay grade. Right? So when I establish my relationship with the person, the buyer, the person who facilitates all of that, we have a call every Friday. It's just in general. So sometimes building a relationship is just having general conversation. How's the family? How's the kids? You get to know you get to know something about each other. You get to share genuine conversation and then go into business, right? Because the character is the character of the person is why you build friendship. Is why you build relationship. What's aligned with you? Like this gentleman, I don't need to same Derek. I don't need to know his whole life. I just need to know that we can do what we need to do at this time in this life and make it happen.
Wow, this is awesome. This is good. This is really good conversation. Man, I'm fascinated. So right now there's in Detroit, most of my audience is from Detroit. Of course, we'll have people watching across the world, but here in Detroit, there's I got counted 3 spots where people can purchase and sample. 3 spots that I like to. No, it's more than 3.
Oh, it's more. Okay. These spots are like my relationships that I want that's been growing with us since day one.
Right.
So that's why I say these spots.
Okay. And that's the Liquor Basket.
Liquor Basket on Gratiot.
Gratiot.
The Rivertown Market on Jefferson in Detroit.
All right. That's the Maya Rivertown.
Yeah, Maya Rivertown.
And Good Spirits. Or In Good. No, wait. What was that?
In Good Spirits is our initiative. That's the title of it.
That's the title. What was
and Park Place in Southfield.
Oh, Park Place.
Yeah, Park Place, Southfield. Danny and Eddie over there, those guys are great.
Okay.
We had a great community of folks over there.
Is there any way, because I know people can order cases or things online. Mm-hmm. Is there a vehicle they come to you if they want to order cases for an event?
No.
A bar or something like that?
So we do events. We produce events, but it has to make sense for us.
Right.
Meaning, we don't do birthday parties.
I understand that.
Right, but
let's say
some people have asked though.
So when you say you do events, what does that entail?
We align ourselves with events like the.
I thought you did some of the Juneteenth last year.
No, we did the what's the festival downtown? With the museum.
Oh, downtown.
It was their 40th anniversary.
Was it the African World Festival?
African World Festival.
African World.
So things like that. Right? It was their 40th anniversary. We curated a VIP bar for them.
VIP. Yeah, that's dope. Oh,
yeah, VIP bar. Yeah. Things like the Smoke on the River type stuff.
The cigar.
Yeah, all that stuff. We do those.
Pair with cigars.
Yeah. We pair with. So if we do any events outside of our own events, they have to be long-standing. Something that's going to happen every year.
That's a good segue. Tell our audience, what is some of the signature events you do? I know you have one upcoming.
Yeah.
But tell us what can we look out for and how they find out about your events.
So Taste of Black Spirits, our next Taste of Black Spirits, which is our 10th edition. So we've done 10 Taste of Black Spirits in about 4 years.
And is that travel city to city or is it all the same location?
We started in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Our second major city was Brooklyn. We launched Brooklyn 2023. It was phenomenal.
Right.
So we back in Brooklyn this June 20th through the 22nd. But before Brooklyn, we did Miami for the first time in February. Right? Because people got tired of coming to Detroit because we used to do 2 in Detroit.
Yeah.
We used to do February in Detroit and September in Detroit. So we moved our February Taste of Black Spirits to Miami.
Now tell us what's all involved. How many days is it?
God, listen.
It's like a festival.
The work to build the relationships, and again, Detroit has this certain kind of swag. We know that, but you also got to back it up with the right thing. If you show up in somebody else's town and you build a relationship with them, you bring what you say you're gonna bring, and we stand by that. No matter what, we're gonna bring what we say we're gonna bring. We're gonna make it happen, and we're gonna bring the energy. We're gonna do the work. We're gonna do the footwork, whatever. We're gonna get the audience. We're gonna do everything we need to do. So it's first building a relationship in the town. I go do the research. I go walk the streets. I go eat at the restaurants. I go meet the people. I go to event. I may go down. I went to Miami 4 times before we set a date because I need to absorb it.
Right, you want to get the feel of later.
You gotta absorb the town, right? So that's the first part you do. You absorb the town, and then you start bringing in those folks who influence the town.
Right.
Now, some of those folks who influence the town, you're not gonna be able to work with all of them because they just have a different type of influence.
Right.
I'm all about energy. If the energy fit, we'll find each other. I don't rush it.
Right.
I don't force it. Everything has been organic. Everything we do when we go to towns, it's organic.
Right.
So Brooklyn came about that same way. Now I've been going to New York for 20 years, so it was naturally that had to be the first place. Naturally outside of Detroit. We built that. It was great. So what it entails is we take bars. We got a whole crew that go down there. Whole production. Because we set up our bars, we have banners, we podcast, all of that stuff comes with us.
Right.
So that's the first part. Then we hire or we get volunteers to help set up space. Again, you have to find space. You have to find the space to host the tasting event, but you also need spaces to host your panel discussions. Right. In New York,
so it's not a festival where it's entertainment, DJ.
No.
It's more so educational exposure.
Yeah. Education, exposure, awareness.
That's right.
Education, exposure, awareness.
Okay. And is that a one-day event?
No.
So weekend? Or?
It's 3-day event.
Okay.
3-day event.
Yeah.
So Brooklyn is what we do in Brooklyn. Brooklyn first day is Spirited Women in Supply Chain. So that's there's about 12 incredible women. Tracy Franklin, Ursula Dunn, my wife is on this panel. Candy Ice is on this panel. Vanessa Braxton's on this panel, and several other brilliant women who's bringing this thing that they do to share with our audience. On the second day, we got a gentleman named Derek Whitehead. If you don't know who Derek, y'all Google Derek Whitehead, because that guy is, when it comes to finance, that guy's brilliant. He'll tell you how to structure your business. He'll tell you how to get that money. So the tagline for Liquid Forum this year, on the 21st of June, is the currency band. I named it that because the currency band is the band that wraps around money, right? So and also it's a band. Some people who bring something together, a band together, right? So the focus is making sure that we have funding opportunities for brand owners, right? There, hence, and therefore, that we brought in a new group called I don't want to call them a group, but a financial institution called Invest Tank. So Invest Tank literally began this year. Got some great quality people behind it, and they're looking to help elevate brands in their quest to become greater. So then we also have on that day 2 panel some brands who have been funded. Right. So they can tell you how one brand owner can tell you how she got $6 million for the brand. Right. But that ain't easy to do. Right. Who's going to give you money for something because you're asking for it, right? Yeah. So went from that to the tasting, which is on the 22nd. Right. So we got Ron Isley. He's my guest. He's gonna be there like he was last year. His Liquid Gold. We got several other people coming out, joining us on this wonderful day. Wow. So yeah, it's always a great time.
Who would you say for the Taste of Black Spirits? Who is it for? Who typically comes to these events?
So the Taste of Black Spirits is for a consumer who's looking to find new things. Right. That's really the consumer. You know what? The consumer is probably the most important person in the room. You wanna know why? Because they set the tone. Because they're in there. They're not in there with any agenda other than to experience. Right. But in the room, you have distributors, You have funders,
Right.
manufacturers, brand owners, retail in the room. We got them on our field.
Right.
So they're not in the office. They're not leaving your brand on the desk for 6 months.
Right.
We got them off the clock.
We got all 5 stakeholders
in our space.
Right.
Listening and ear hustling to our consumer.
Right.
If our consumers walking around tasting it and saying it, they record it.
Right.
That consumer said they're taking notes. That's the whole intent. That's the whole
Right.
purpose.
Right.
And then come that following Monday or Tuesday, I'm getting the email. Hey, I'm inquiring about these particular brands. Can you connect me?
Right. Get them in our store. Yeah.
Get them. So
or at our bars.
Or even in the conversation for funding. Right.
Funding. Yeah.
It's safe to say that, and I love Pronghorn. I love what we've been able to do, and I know the next 10 gonna be amazing with these partners. Is that 90% of their portfolio came through Taste of Black Spirits. 90%.
With the stakeholders being there.
You know what I mean? So with it's for us to get to know that we exist and then do something about it.
Right.
Don't just come to the Taste of Black Spirits. Be intentional about where you spend your dollars now, because now you know. Now you know, and you done shared it with. If I get 600 people to share it with 10 people that they know, then that 10 people share with another 10.
Is that usually what the attendance is?
About 6 to 1,000.
Yeah. Here in Detroit too.
Detroit's like 1,200.
1,200.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because it's home. Yeah.
Is
that.
Is there a ticket? Is that a ticketed event?
Ticketed event. So tickets this year. So we used to do 2 different tickets. You know, VIP,
right.
blah blah. No, all tickets are $75. You get the same experience. You get the same VIP experience.
Right.
We don't want to separate anybody from, because it's a thought. It's really like, oh, I'm VIP or I'm not. Nope. Everybody's VIP. One price.
That's for the whole weekend, or is that for a day?
So the other 2, basically the first 2 days are pretty much free.
Oh, okay.
Like $20 and 2 for $20, something like that.
Right.
I can't remember how we changed it, but I know it's very, very reasonable.
Right. Yeah. It's very reasonable.
But Taste of Black Spirits, the tasting part is you get a certain amount of tickets and you taste.
Right.
You taste it. We have over 65 brands going to be there, from rum to tequila to RTDs.
What's the dates for this upcoming?
So the dates is June. So the dates for the Taste of Black Spirits Brooklyn is June 20th through the 22nd in Brooklyn. You get tickets at Event Noir. So Event Noir is a black-owned ticket.
Now make sure because I want to edit it in.
Yeah.
I'll put it up like a screenshot of how they get tickets.
Yeah. So Event Noir is a black-owned ticketing company.
Okay.
Yeah, Event Noir. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. That's super dope.
Well,
so I got to go with that, right?
Yeah. Are you going to have another one in Detroit?
Oh yeah. So Detroit is September 27th, 28th. No, yeah, 27th, 28th.
At the Garden Theater?
No, that's at the Doubletree Hotel. So we moved to the Doubletree last year.
Okay.
We have the whole second floor, the Crystal Ballroom, and all 12 rooms on the second floor.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah, that's. I think this September will be our biggest one. And for those who don't know, it's in September for numerous reasons. It's a good month.
It's a good month.
It's my birthday month. It usually happens, and most people that attend, because I don't celebrate it like that. The celebration is within it already.
Right.
My birthday is actually the 29th, so most people just come, and those who know my daughter, my wife, and my family, they know. But we don't do the balloons, we don't do none of that, because I got the people. Right? I'm good with the people.
What's next for Black Spirits?
So
future projects or anything you want to announce?
I think what we got coming up next till 2025. So again, we'll be doing. So we end in 2024 in Houston with Jay Prince.
Okay.
Taste of Black Spirits Houston inaugural is 2024. I'm excited about that because we had him here in Detroit May 18th, and we had a great conversation. We broke bread and we discussed what the Taste of Black Spirits Houston is going to look like. We want to do a black tie affair over the night. It's just gonna be phenomenal. He's rolling out the red carpet, so I'm looking forward to that. That's a great relationship. I'm looking forward to building. And then we go right into 2025. Back in Miami in February. We're next year we had same schedule, but we're adding in DC and New Orleans. Then 2026 we're doing our bi-yearly, if I'm saying it right, for Vegas. So Vegas will be every 2 years.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Yeah. Let me not forget. So we got invited to do Taste of Black Spirits Africa. Yeah. So that's awesome. So I'll be going. Me and my wife and my daughter probably go to Africa sometime in maybe December. Spend about 20 days, and because we're talking either Nigeria or Ghana.
For those who will be watching, who may hear your story, your journey, and they may want to work with you directly, or even seek you out for consulting, or maybe want to get into the Black Spirit industry. Mm-hmm. What's the best way they can reach out to you?
Well, the best way to contact me is via email. Really,
right. It's
blackspiritslegacy@gmail.com. My phone only is going to respond to a name. However, my daughter set that up. I have no idea.
My phone's like that.
I'm like, how does she
it'll go to voicemail.
If it's not a name in the phone, it'll go to voicemail, and I won't even hear it.
Right.
It won't even allow me to hear it.
Right.
So that's nothing against nobody. It's just that's what it is. So if you're not in the phone, your best places, because I'm checking emails all night because I'm getting it all night, and I'm always responding. And I think if you're trying to get into this business, just be patient. This is not glamorous. Right? If you're trying to get in it as a supplier, a seller, or a manufacturer, or any of those. Now, if you want to be a liaison, so I don't use the word. I don't use brand ambassador. A legacy liaison
or influencer.
Right? No, legacy liaison. If you want to be a legacy liaison, then these are the steps, because we're building legacies, right?
Okay.
If I work with your brand, it has to become something. I'm a part of something.
Right.
I'm working towards that with you.
Gotcha.
Right.
Partnership.
So a lot of the brands are these are my partners. Mm-hmm. Right. I don't look at it like they know and I know. We're not working for it. I'm not working for you, and you're not hiring me. Right. We're working together for a common goal. That's to get you where you're trying to get with this product.
Right. As we wrap up, any other announcements or closing remarks or anything you want to share?
Yeah. We got a film festival happening. So it'll be our first film. So our Trinity International Film Festival will happen online. I hope I get the dates right. July 16th through the 19th, but it's virtual.
Okay.
Right. Then the Detroit Black Film Festival runs with the Taste of Black Spirit, so that's gonna be super exciting.
Now it's gonna be in September.
Yes. So the Detroit.
Tell our audience, that some people may not know, what is the Detroit Black Film Festival?
So the Detroit Black Film Festival, me and my wife started about 5 years. We're on our 5th year, and it's a film festival where we highlight African American film from all over the world. Okay. Not just Detroit. Detroit is the title name, but we get films from. We had filmmakers out of England last year, and these folks come to the film festival. Short narrative films, documentaries, web series, all those kind of things. And they come, like I said, and we blended it last year for the first time. We tested it. We want to see what it felt like, because Taste of Black Spirit is at the end of the month, and our film festival we had in the middle of September. So we just moved it and ran it consecutive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we created 2 audiences. We meshed our audiences. Meshed our film audiences. We had 45 people come from out of town. We had 15 people come from out of the country. We sold out the entire hotel of the DoubleTree. Right. So, and then we blended it, and it was beautiful. It was it just made sense.
It made sense. Yeah. And so, you guys still taking people submitting shorts or
submissions end tonight.
Oh, midnight. Okay. All right. When this preview,
by the time this airs, submission will be ended.
Okay. All right. Well, leave our audience the websites to the Taste of Black Spirits and also the film festival.
So Taste of Black Spirits, you can get tickets at Event Noir. Okay. You'll find all the things, interviews, etc. on our link tree, which is Black Spirits Legacy. You can follow us on IG, Taste of Black Spirits, Facebook, Taste of Black Spirits, Lazar Favors, all caps. And if you're thinking about activating your greatness, just turn the light on. That's what it is.
Activate your greatness. Turn the lights.
That's it.
Turn the light on. All right.
Turn on the light. That's it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, brand builder, relationship builder, marketer, just a great guy, Lazar Favors. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank
being
you
on this podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey everyone, this is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you.